A new poll indicates that Brits are now much more accepting of bisexuality. In fact, they're so accepting of it that more and more of them are referring to themselves as bisexual. Now, according to the poll conducted by YouGov, when asked to plot themselves on a 7-point Kinsey scale, 72% of them identified as exclusively heterosexual and 4% as exclusively homosexual, leaving 23% between those two extremes. When it comes to 18 to 24-year-olds, however, a whopping 49% choose an option other than completely heterosexual.
It's over, dude. It's over. And I've always said this, conservatives are right about this. Okay, we live on a spectrum. It's not just gay or straight. Some are a lot more gay, as you can, the 4% say completely, right? Yep. And a lot of people say completely straight, but that number is moving, so perhaps it's not really completely straight, right? But most people are in the middle, somewhere in the middle. They could be on the edge somewhere, right? But somewhere in that spectrum. And basically when society takes the finger out of the dam, if you will, right? The dam bursts. And it's in the middle of bursting right now. So first of all, 23% saying somewhere in the middle is a gigantic number. When I was growing up, if you told me that 23% of people are going to say, I know it's Britain, but my guess is you're going to get similar numbers in countries that are, for lack of a better word, more enlightened, right? That are less dominated by old traditional religious mores, right? That 23% number is going to hold, probably. It's going to be somewhere in that ballpark. Growing up in the U.S., if you had told me 23% are going to be somewhere gay, bisexual, etc., I'd have been like, no way, right? Okay, but forget the 23% number. That 18 to 24-year-olds is a harbinger of what is to come. 49% and rising.
Yeah.
It's over, we're all gay.
And remember,
you just don't know it yet.
Well, okay, you need to calm down, okay? As we all know, everyone is somewhere on that scale, okay?
Right.
And the vast majority of people are not in one extreme or the other. They are somewhere in the middle, but not directly in the middle either.
That's right.
So just because you identify as someone who's not completely straight or completely gay doesn't mean that you're bisexual and you want to have sex with both men and women. It could mean a lot of different things. It could mean that you feel as a woman, affectionate toward other women, but you want to have an intimate, romantic, sexual relationship with men. Like we've done stories like that before about men who like to cuddle with other men, but they don't want to have sex with other men. They want to have sex with other women.
That's super weird.
No, I don't think it's weird. I mean, there's somewhere on that scale, and that's totally fine. And I think younger generations are more willing to self-report about their true sexuality as we become more tolerable of the gay community, which is great.
Yeah, and so look at what I just said, right? So here's a guy who said a minute ago, hey, it turns out we're all gay. Now, when you say cuddling with a guy, I'm like, whoa, be cool, right? And so the reason is because we grew up in a society where we were all brainwashed in a certain way. By the way, don't take it personally. Everybody's brainwashed into something. Like your parents brainwash you to use a fork and a knife. So you think reusing a fork and a knife is the right thing to do, right? To wear certain clothes, to believe certain religious principles. Some people get rid of their brainwashing, which is incredibly hard in some aspects, but not in others. And we're all brainwashed, at least we were in my generation, when you're growing up, gay is yuck. Like, oh, no, they're terrible, this, blah, everything terrible about it, right? So at this point, I don't know what part of me is the brainwashing and what part is real. Right? Do you see what I'm saying? What part would have existed in a different environmental context?
That's true.
So I view myself in the completely heterosexual camp, right? But I don't know why. It might be more environmental influences than otherwise. So when you strip away the environmental influences, it turns out 49% and rising say, a little bit of both, okay? Yeah. And here's what I know about guys. It doesn't take much, man. It doesn't take much to get them sexually excited, right?
Are you saying that most guys will get sexually excited by another dude if he pulls the right tricks?
And so this is where I think a lot of the right wingers, we've been saying this for a long time.
You're getting real fired up.
No, I am. Listen, because this is really interesting, right? So a lot of the right wingers assume that if you take the finger out of the dam, everybody's going to be gay. Because in their minds, which it wasn't in my mind, but it's been in their minds all along.
Yeah.
They're like, well, if a guy were to, do something to me, I'd love that, right? And so if you let me, of course I would do that. So they assume every guy would do that, right? So I didn't assume that because of how I was born or raised or a combination thereof. But I know, like we were joking around this morning, the old joke, why does a dog lick his balls? Because he can, right? And you know the old phrase, men are dogs, right? So if you like, and then people joke around, I saw from some comedian who, I forget who, you know, do guys give handjobs? Every day to themselves, right? So every guy's giving millions of handjobs, right? So if you take away the social mores, I can't comprehend it because that's not the society I lived up in. So my brain is already wired in a different way, right? But you take away those social mores, and all of a sudden, guy says, "Oh, a blowjob from a girl, blowjob from a guy," and apparently a lot of guys go, "What fucking difference does it make?" Right? And then when you live in that world, okay, then everybody's going to be having sex. So if you're straight and you're not interested or excited by any of this news, think about the competition that introduces. Now, if guys who are much more sexually willing to do anything, right, are in a world where they're like, they can just go get it from a guy, right, just as easily, and there's no stigma to it. And then all of a sudden, girls are going to have to step up to the plate.
But again, you're mistaking this as people in the middle being equally as excited by men and women. That's not the case.
No, but that's exactly what I'm saying, Anna. That's a great point what you're making. But for a guy, he doesn't have to be in the middle. He doesn't have to be on the gay side. Even if he's a little somewhere on the spectrum closer. We're all making this up. We don't know for sure, but you're seeing the numbers, and the numbers are startling, right? Even if there's somewhere on the very straight side of the spectrum, and there's no stigma whatsoever, and a guy comes and goes, "I'm going to suck your dick."
No, Cenk, your hypothesis is that that the vast majority of the population is bisexual. We all want to fuck each other, but the only thing keeping us from it is society. And that's not true. I'm a very liberated person, don't care what anyone thinks about my sexual activity at all. And I have no interest in sleeping with women.
I know, but that's because you're a woman. Well, you're missing. I'm not saying for everybody. I'm saying for guys. Guys will fuck anything.
Can someone jump in? Like, are you guys going to defend your peers? Or are you going to let this guy say that you guys would fuck anything that walks?
Society, for understandable reasons, and remember, in the old days, they needed soldiers. The Israelites had to beat the Canaanites. They couldn't spare guys having sex with one another and not creating babies. They needed to create babies. That's part of why they made women into property and chattel, right? And to get dark on this conversation for a second, right? Because they needed the baby-producing factories, and they couldn't have guys wander. You leave them in their own devices, we're likely like chimpanzees, who are like guy chimpanzees. I don't know about women chimpanzees, probably the same, but at least for us, for Homo sapiens, step up, right? That's what the numbers are showing you. I'm amazed by it because I'm a little, like, I know how guys are, but I'm now startled that if you don't get the brainwashing that I got, and your brain isn't wired the way we were wired because of what we were taught, turns out there might be no rules.